Oh, hi Lius.
Hi, Reza.
How are you? Thank you for doing this.
Not a problem at all. Happy to be here.
How are you?
I've been well. How are you?
Yeah, good. Great. So thank you for doing this. Just a quick reminder about the objective of this interview and then also the rundown. So the objective is really to give some insight, share some insight with new entrepreneur or wannabe entrepreneur, or even foreigners, bule entrepreneur who wants to come to Indonesia and who wants to do some business, to give them some insight of what is the life of entrepreneur here, how it works, how is the market. So basically the interview is in three parts. One part is about your experience as an entrepreneur and how you do things. The second is more into personal questions, not too personal, don't worry. But yeah, what is your morning routine? What is your daily routine? How you do things, and how also you live the current situation with the coronavirus locked in. And then the third part, it's a short part, is any advice or sharing that you want advice you want to give to the audience about your experience. Okay.
Yep.
Okay, great. So as I send you the email, there is 1 minute for you to tell the audience about you, about your experience, who you are, extra. So you have your 1 minute.
Yep. Okay. So my name is Lius WIDJAJA. I am Indonesian by birth. I grew up in Singapore and Malaysia. So I came back as a young adult. I was in banking. I was in coal mining. I was in hospitality and travel as well. My last job, which was a few years ago, was as country manager at Wantedly. It was a Japanese online HR company. So I graduated with a bachelor's degree in economics from Curtin University of Technology, Perth. And yeah, so here I am building GOMODO, and this is my third startup.
Yeah, cool. So what is GOMODO?
So GOMODO is a software as a service startup. We build software primarily for small and medium enterprises in tourism and services. So our set of software tools help them go online as soon as possible, as quickly as possible. Gives them modern business tools for them to equip them to be able to compete in the digital age. So it comes with a payment gateway, it comes with e-invoicing, a distribution system, and also access to financing. So to access small business loans and government grants, and also invoice financing. Okay, so all everything on a one-stop software platform that's accessible on their mobile phones.
Cool. So this is mostly for hotels around Indonesia. For the moment, you are based in Indonesia, and it's for hotel business, yeah?
No, it's for services and tourism businesses. So mostly not. So it includes non-tourism businesses, such as say any business basically that takes in bookings. We're basically reservation tech, if you want to categorize us. So and tour companies use us to take in lots of bookings, direct bookings, with our payment gateway.
Okay, thank you for this introduction. So my first question would be, why
I think it started during the early days in my career when I was working under my supervisors and managers. I think it was because I like to work quickly and I like to be decisive about things. I'm much more of a risk taker than a lot of my supervisors. So I was very frustrated. I couldn't make an impact without my supervisors or my managers blocking me each step of the way. So I thought I think I need to venture out on my own and do stuff by myself and make my own decisions.
Yeah. So when did you start it? At what age did you start it, your first venture?
I think it was when I was 25 or 26. So 7, 8, 9 years ago.
It was quintessentially no.
It was quintessentially.
Yeah. That's where we met.
Yes, exactly.
Because we wanted to collaborate together with Gary Lafayette. I remember.
I remember.
Yeah. Cool. Okay. So now this one is your third one. So quintessentially your first one, and then the second one. Which one is the second one?
The second one was bucketlist.id.
Okay. Great. So GOMODO, when did you start GOMODO? GOMODO, yeah?
GOMODO, yes.
GOMODO.
GOMODO, as a concept, it started in 2016. So from my experiences running Bucketlist, it was incredibly difficult for us to acquire suppliers in a scalable manner. So these suppliers, they only taking phone bookings. They take in bookings from WhatsApp as well, by WhatsApp, and then it was very difficult to discover them. They're not available online. They don't use any technology whatsoever. They're not connected to any distribution systems that connect them to online travel agents or even offline agents across the world. So what they were lacking was a channel management system or a distribution system that enables more sales channels for them. And as a consumer myself, it was very hard to discover them. And whenever I'm out there, when I'm out traveling, I don't. If I run out of cash, I cannot pay them anymore. They don't. They cannot take in credit cards. They cannot take in e-wallet payments because they just don't use any software at all. So I wanted to solve all of these problems with GOMODO. So that's how GOMODO started as a concept. I worked on the prototype alone. I spent some of my savings from my Wantedly job, and I put that into software houses to work on the prototype. So I took the prototype. I spent I think around a couple of years working on that. I took that prototype. I built a pitch deck, and I started fundraising for real. And eventually, I got angel funding in 2018, September 2018.
Nice.
Yeah, so we built on that prototype, and here we are today.
Okay, and now today, what represents GOMODO?
So we have just reached 1,000 clients since launch.
Wow.
Small businesses, providers. So I think we launched in February 2019.
Wow.
So we've gotten at least 1,000 providers now in our database. For headcount, I think we are at 27 people. We're mostly based in Jogja, but we're pretty scattered. I'm in Jakarta. My CTO is in Jakarta. My head of ops is in Jakarta. My head of distribution is in Bandung, and the rest are in Jogja. Yeah, so that's us.
Okay, cool. These 27 people, mostly in which area they are? Mostly tech or?
Yeah, tech. So we have 27 people spread across 6 teams within GOMODO, and most of them are technical. So UI, UX, developers, backend programmers. Yeah, mostly I think 60% are technical staff.
Yeah, and to hire this kind of profile, it's easy for you, or you have challenges?
Yeah, lots of challenges. In Jogja, where it's actually cheaper to hire people, the local talent there, but quality-wise, they some of them might not be up to tier 1 city standards. Luckily, the ones that we have hired are quite comparable to tier 1 city talent. So we're lucky in that regard, but it took us a lot of tries and experimentations in our hiring policies to get to where we are now.
Yeah, and in terms of turnover, it's high turnover, or it's okay? They stay long enough?
It has stabilized now. Last year it was pretty high because we were letting go of people who couldn't keep up, people who we couldn't trust to work remotely or unsupervised.
Yeah.
So we had to let them go. And the ones that we have retained, we are retraining. Human resources wise, I focused initially mainly on quantity instead of quality. That's one of my biggest mistakes, because it was initially cheap to hire in Jogja. We hired a lot of people too soon, too quickly, and hiring them from different industries, and then trusting them to adapt. And the less competent ones, they could not adapt, and they were pulling everyone back. And we had to review their work, we had to correct their work, and they were huge time sinks. It distracted us too much. So I would say that's one of my biggest mistakes.
Or is it the hiring the wrong people, or it was not following them regularly? Which part mostly?
I was too trusting of them initially. I think probably my supervision style is more suited towards people who do not need to be supervised.
Yeah.
But I hired people who needed to be supervised. Yeah. So there's a disconnect there.
Yeah. My 2 mistakes in these past 2 years of my first venture was both of them actually. I hired sometimes the wrong people, and most of the time also I didn't follow up with them regularly. And I put it in one of my videos. These 2 mistakes is really it doesn't forgive. You lose a lot of time and energy on this. Yeah.
I would say getting officially recognized and endorsed by the government. We presented our software to our government contacts, and they were so impressed with what we can do with our business model, because we have a freemium approach, so it's free to use, and we only charge for our advanced solutions. Okay. And we also don't charge our clients. We charge, say, the travel agents who need access to what we have digitized. So we charge. That's our business model, and it's a very small business friendly approach, MSME friendly approach. So the government, in this context, it was the Forestry and Environment Ministry of Indonesia. Okay. So they have under that ministry, you have the national parks, very popular tourism destinations across Indonesia, and also ecotourism. So they actually were so impressed by us that they want to deploy us nationally, and all expenses paid. So we were sent to Madiun, we were sent to Jambi in Sumatra, we were sent to Bali, we were sent to we were supposed to go to Kalimantan and Sulawesi this year, but yeah, I think everything's going to be postponed to maybe at the end of this year. So yeah, I think that would be one of our biggest successes. Our brand, our GOMODO brand, has been circulated internally right up to the ministerial level. So we are quite known internally in the ministry, and they have invited us to a lot of their meetings, and we have demoed our software to the minister actually, and they were quite impressed. So I would say that's one of my biggest success.
Wow, yeah. Nice.
I would say the next step is to survive through this pandemic. Help out our clients as much as possible to get some kind of cash flow. So we're advising our clients to say sell cash vouchers, for example, for ecotourism, for example, sell cash vouchers to get some form of cash flow. Do it in a way that says that to the customer, buy now, travel later, and put an expiry date of, say, December 2022. Stuff
long
like
enough
that.
They're not stressed.
Yeah. So the more we help our clients, the more the government recognizes that, and the more willing the government would be to get in more of a profitable project with us. So we're supposed to deploy a government monitoring system, like a big data level monitoring system, so they can monitor their databases performance, online and offline transactions and all that. So that's what's next. I think next year, depending on how everything goes, we want to deploy to other developing nations, say Vietnam or the Philippines. We do have contacts in those countries because our advisors are quite well connected in those areas. The bottlenecks would be a local payment gateway partner. We would need a local payment gateway partner and a local entity, and that's the only, and some localization. But that's it. We can rapidly deploy elsewhere. We're scalable in that manner. But GOMODO is built for the developing nation, for non-tech savvy users. You can get set up, you can start selling online, you can start accepting bookings online within 5 minutes. You can get a landing page, get cashless payments instantly, and also access financing platform, and all of those within 5 to 10 minutes. And then because it's designed to be easy to use by non-tech savvy people in developing nations, I would say Southeast Asia for sure, South America, Africa, East Europe. So we've been advised to go into East Europe as soon as possible, because there are lots of up and coming tourist hotspots, like say Croatia. Beautiful places, but just undiscovered. They are what we call dark zones, because no one really knows. They're not as popular, say Bali. We're looking to raise money within 3 to 6 months from now. So we have raised a couple of fundraising rounds before. So my first one was my angel round. My second one was my pre-seed round. So the next one is going to be my seed round.
Okay, wow. Okay, cool. I think as an entrepreneur, the first challenge is to get always money in, whatever it takes, either from an investor or either from sales. But that's our job. You have to always think about cash flow and think about how to, especially in this period of crisis where everything is so slowed down. It's very, very challenging. Very, very challenging.
Yeah.
Okay, so this was our first part. Thank you very much. So let's go to the second part. It's a little bit more into personal questions, but not too personal. Not everybody has a routine. Not everybody needs a new routine. But do you have any? Do you follow something regular?
Yeah, I have something, but it's I don't follow it strictly. So what I try to do every day is I go for a jog, 10 to 20 minutes. If I do 10-minute jogs, then it would consist of sprints. So I try to burn as much calories as I can within the shortest amount of period. I try to relax more, but with friends. So for example, if I'm a video gamer, I love playing video games. I love playing video games with my friends, and that helps me socialize.
You have the
yeah.
I was going to tell you, is this a gamer?
It is. So I do play video games. It helps me relax. It helps me get inspiration actually from my video games. I play lots of sci-fi video games, and you have tons of inspiration from sci-fi to apply to tech. And also when I play video games, I like to look at the menus where they are placed. Like I like to study the UI and the UX of a game. I like to take screenshots and send it to my team. Hey, we should do something like this, like for the onboarding process. What can we do to streamline the tutorials, stuff like that. I get a lot of inspiration from my game, so I try to not stop playing my video games. And I use Discord. It's like Slack but for gamers. So we actually use Discord internally for our company. So Discord, they have unlimited voice channels. I am in the voice channel almost all day, so my team can reach out to me anytime. If they need to share their screen, that is also possible. On Discord, I try to do the same as well. So communication wise, it helps a lot. So that's kind of my routine daily.
And in terms of organization, do you have any tips to give how you organize your days?
Not really. I'm much more of a night owl. So I could work, say, starting 10 or 11 a.m., but I could work till 8 p.m. or 9 p.m. and it doesn't really bother me that much. I might get up, say, at 9 or 10 o'clock. To some people that might be a bit too late, early bird catches the worm and all that. But I don't think it suits everyone. It doesn't suit me because that's just how my body works. If I wake up too early, I feel lethargic. I feel like sleepy, like a zombie, and that's not healthy for me. So not much of a daily routine for me in terms of lifestyle.
Do you have any advice to give to a entrepreneur wannabe, or give two advice? One, to an entrepreneur wannabe or young entrepreneur who just started and very very new, and one advice to a bule who wants to do business in Indonesia. What would you tell them?
Okay, which one should I start first? So the first two tips first. The first one is to do a lot of research, homework. There are lots of free, amazing online resources. You have stuff from Y Combinator. You have lots of video channels about startups, about how to run a startup, and in the relevant fields too. Like for example, I look up videos pertaining to SaaS. So I would listen to podcasts about SaaS.
Okay.
There's SaaSX. There is product-led growth by OpenView Ventures. They have a YouTube channel. They have all sorts of podcast episodes that interview, CMOs of this company, the CEO of this company, and I would get tons of tips from there, lots of potential metrics that I could potentially use to measure success within my own company. So yeah, that's number one. Do tons of research. You're basically downloading years and years and years of someone else's experience, learning from their mistakes into your own, consciousness. My second tip would be when you go around fundraising, you would get potential investors who mean well but advise you wrongly because they do not know 100% what you do. They're not familiar. They might not be 100% familiar with your situation. They would try to negotiate your valuation, sometimes to your detriment. They would say, oh, your startup's too cheap. They would say, oh, your startup's too expensive. And then when you start going around and you listen a bit too much to them, and when like in my example, I was fundraising and there were a couple of investors, VCs. They were telling me that my startup valuation was overvalued. It was a pre-seed valuation. Of course, there's really it's got to be low anyway. So I listened to them. My mistake was I listened too much to them. So I lowered the valuation of my startup of GOMODO considerably, and then I went along and pitched to other VCs, and these other VCs they thought that GOMODO was perfect for their portfolio, and they said that I was too cheap and that I should raise my valuation. They should raise my valuation because it was going to be disastrous if I do not for the next round. So it's that sort of thing so second advice would be don't listen too much to other people. I mean, their advice might mean well, but it might not be 100% correct all the time. So that's my second tip.
Yeah, take the advice and analyze it by yourself, and take whatever you think. Because it's your business. At the end of the day, it's your business. So how much you put in the company and how much is the valuation. Whatever is the advice. Now you're talking about the valuation, but it's I also feel the same. There's a lot of people who meant well also to give me some advices, and the advices was not totally accurate with my vision, because you have a vision at the same time. It's okay. Thank you. It's great. To the bule who wants to do a business in Indonesia, what you would say?
This might be obvious, but always try to get a local partner. And I have a few bule friends who made this mistake, but do not date your co-founders. do not date your local co-founders. Might be
That's
a little
great.
bit obvious, but it's interesting to get local co-founders, but also probably equally as important to get local advisors. Local advisors, especially from your scene. So for example, if you're running a tech startup in software, get a startup software founder, Indonesian founder, to be one of your advisors. You could compensate them with stock options or just a monthly retainer, but get an expert on your team.
Local one.
And don't date them.
I married her first, and then she became the shareholder of my company.
That's all right. I think that would be you're excused.
Thank you. That's great advice. Thank you very much.
Not a problem.
Do you have anything to add? Do you want to add anything?
I would say that I think you and I, we are quite familiar with this, but the startup life can be quite stressful. I think it's important for us to take more frequent breaks and give yourself more time to relax more.
Yeah.
I think we go through enough pressure already on a month-to-month basis, with payroll, with growth metrics and all that. We get stressed out. So give yourself a break time to time. Me, I play lots of video games, and that helps a ton. That helps you wind down. Others, drink some whiskey or some wine at the end of the day. That kind of helps. Socialize online now. So yeah, I think that's something I would like to add.
Okay, thank you. Great advice. Okay.
Remember to wind down.
Yeah, that's really important to have some side activities, not always be, because it's very easy. You're so passionate with your job and so passionate with what you're doing that it's very easy to spend all your time doing it, forgetting the family, forgetting the friends, forgetting networking, because networking is also part of our should be part of our job. So yeah, great advice. Thank you so much. Thank you, Lius. Thank you. This was the end of the interview. I really thank you and appreciate your time. Thank you so much. And we stay in contact, because I think we can do something together.
For sure.
I'm seeing some opportunity to work together.
For sure. Let me know. We can get into a call this week.
Yeah. Okay, great. Thank you so much. Thank you. And wish you all the best to GOMODO.
You too. Likewise.
Thank you, buddy. Thank you.
Okay. See ya.